My name is Elena Carter. I'm 31 years old. At my husband's funeral, my mother-in-law slapped my 7-year-old son and called him worthless. Then she looked straight at me and said, "Take him and leave. This house was never meant for people like you." For a moment, I couldn't move. I just stood there, holding my son as he cried against me. But then, I wiped my tears, picked up my phone, and made one call. "I need you here," I said quietly. "It's time." 2 hours later, they were begging. The sky felt unbearably heavy that day. Thick gray clouds covered everything. The air was cold, still, almost suffocating. People stood around dressed in black, whispering, watching. I stood beside my husband's grave, holding my son's tiny hand. The priest was speaking, saying things about peace, about endings. But none of it reached me. Just days ago, he was alive, smiling, laughing, playing with our son. And now, I was watching them bury him. "Mom," my son whispered softly. "Why are they putting Dad in the ground?" My chest tightened. I knelt and hugged him close. "Dad is resting," I said, even though those words shattered me inside. We returned to the house. The moment we entered, the room fell silent. My son slowly walked toward his father's phone, placed on the table. He picked it up gently. "Dad," he whispered. And then, crash. The frame slipped, glass shattered across the floor. The entire room froze. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice trembling. Then, slap. The sound echoed like thunder. His face turned to the side. Tears instantly filled his eyes. I froze. Then I saw her. My mother-in-law. Standing there, cold, furious. I rushed forward and pulled my son into my arms. "Why would you hit him?" I asked, my voice shaking. "He's just a child." She didn't hesitate. "He's useless," she said. For a second, I thought I misheard. Then my sister-in-law stepped forward. "You brought nothing but bad luck into this family," she added. And then my father-in-law. "We made a mistake accepting you," he said calmly. "You don't belong in this family." Soft laughter filled the room. No one defended us. No one moved. My son buried his face in my chest. "Mom, I'm sorry." That broke something inside me. But slowly, the pain changed. Into something colder, stronger. I wiped my tears. And for the first time, I looked at them without fear. "Are you finished?" I asked quietly. They stopped. "Pack your things and leave," my mother-in-law snapped. I nodded slowly. "Fine." They looked confused. Because I didn't cry. I didn't argue. Instead, I took out my phone. Dialed a number. "I need you to come," I said calmly. "It's time." An hour passed. Then another. The tension in the room shifted. Then, the door opened. 2 men walked in. Serious, professional, calm. "We're here regarding Mr. Carter's will," one of them said. The room went silent. He opened the file. "According to the legal will, all assets, properties, and business ownership," he paused, "have been transferred entirely to his son." Silence. Then chaos. "That's impossible," my father-in-law shouted. "When was this done?" my mother-in-law demanded. "1 month before his death," the man replied. I stepped forward. "Yes," I said calmly. "I knew." They all turned to me. He knew everything, I continued. He knew you were taking money from his business. He knew you never cared about him, only his wealth. Their faces changed. Fear replaced arrogance. And he knew. I looked down at my son. That if anything happened to him, you would treat us exactly like this. Tears fell, but my voice stayed steady. So he protected us. I looked straight at her, the same woman who slapped my child, and said, "You just hit the owner." Silence. No laughter. No whispers. Just fear. Then suddenly, "Wait, we didn't mean it. You misunderstood. We were emotional." Now they were begging, apologizing. But I didn't move. I just held my son's hand and said one word: "Leave." Days later, everything was transferred. The house, the business, everything. They were gone. For the first time, that house felt peaceful, safe. I sat beside my son and held him close. "You're safe now," I whispered. He smiled softly, and I realized they called him worthless, but they never knew. He owned everything.